it's it's really quite stunning sometimes when you actually like take a moment, sit down, take a breath, clear your head, and really just contemplate. Really just contemplate how unimaginably aggressively dumb and gullible Trump supporters are today. I was just listening to one rail on U.S. military aid for Ukraine. Let's take a step back here because Donald Trump in Ukraine goes back a few years. Following the 2016 election, when everybody was on the left was quite properly saying that Russia interfered in the 2016 election on Donald Trump's behalf, even though they did not tip the scales and cause Donald Trump to win that election. People on the right were saying, well, the real foreign interference was coming from Ukraine on behalf of Hillary Clinton. And then a year or so after Donald Trump got elected was when all the Q stuff started. And that involved bio labs in Ukraine. And the Clintons and the Bidens and the Obamas and Hollywood with their cabal of child S trafficking that they were running out of Ukraine. And fast forward a year after that, I believe it was in 2018, when then President Trump blackmailed President Zelensky, who needed weapons from us, and very specific weapons. And Donald Trump, in a recorded phone call, transcribed phone call, said, yeah, we'll give you those, but I'm going to need you to do me a favor first. I need you and your government to open up an investigation into Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and their family. I don't care if that investigation goes anywhere. I just need you to open up the investigation so that we can say that they're under investigation by Ukraine for corruption. That's why Donald Trump got impeached the first time, for trying to blackmail the president of Ukraine in exchange for weapons, because he didn't want to run against Joe Biden in 2020. And Joe Biden kicked his ass in 2020. And so the MAGA base, has been so pumped and primed with that bullshit information about Ukraine and Zelensky and Q and the cabal and the 2016 election interference, none of which is true, that when Russia invaded Ukraine for a second time 3 years ago during Joe Biden's presidency, and our Congress, in an overwhelmingly bipartisan manner, provided billions of dollars of military aid for Ukraine, the dipshit, mouth-breathing, fart-huffing MAGA chuds believe that that translates to massive pallets of $100 bills that are just airdropped into Kiev, and that Vladimir Zelensky would pocket half of the money and buy, mansions in Hollywood and yachts on the Black Sea or whatever, the Mediterranean. When in reality, when MAGA and Trump and Republicans and Trump supporters rail against U.S. military aid for Ukraine, they are actually expressing their hatred of American manufacturing, American military, American jobs, because the vast, vast, vast majority, as far as dollars go, of U.S. military aid for Ukraine has been spent here in the United States. Because military aid for Ukraine consists of us, America, giving what is to us old, outdated weapon systems, weapons, weaponry, munitions to Ukraine for them to use on the battlefield. it's still better than the state of the art shit than what Russia refers to as their state of the art stuff. Our old stuff is better than their brand new stuff. And we've been giving them all of our old stuff. And so the money that has been allocated for military aid for Ukraine is spent here in the United States, manufacturing new, upgraded weaponry for our military to replace the old stuff that we gave to Ukraine. So when Republicans are railing against U.S. military aid for Ukraine, they are actually trying to kill American manufacturing jobs at the American defense contractors, because we are spending our money with them for them to make new weapon systems, upgraded weaponry for our military. That's how fucking dumb and gullible these people are.